Let me bang.
I do let you bang. Hey,
let me bang you, man.
I let you bang. I let you bang.
Greetings, marrieds and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No forget Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Hey, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. Special show today, people. I think he's the greatest fighter of all time. He was the youngest American to ever win the gold medal. He was a 4-time state champion wrestler. He won the Pan Am Games. And he was the only guy in the UFC to win the gold medal in the Olympics and win the UFC championship. And he defended the belt twice in 2 different weight classes. Only guy to ever do it. Cejudo, how are you, man? What's going on?
That's good, Adam. I'm glad you believe it. It's too bad nobody else does.
Well, fuck everybody else. Those are the facts. That's what happened. Fuck, like, you can't argue with what happened. That's what happened.
Yeah, no, for sure. I wish people would see it that way. And it's not even like in combat sports, Adam, I would 100%. Like, when it comes to the accolades that I've done in combat sportsmen, I do put myself as number one. Maybe as a mixed martial artist, as just a pure like MMA, just a sport. You know, I'd put myself maybe top 6.
I think Bill Dawes, Jonas, by the way, funny comedian. I think you got to look at like there's asterisks to everybody else. Like John Jones has an asterisk because he got popped.
It wasn't because of bad credit.
No. So I get that too. So I think that, I would say you, GSP, and Fedor are the guys, but you're still living it though. Like a lot of guys, like they peak and then they fall off a little bit, Whereas you, like I was telling Eric that your coach, he was like, when you lost to Demetrius Johnson, you had to start from like ground zero and build yourself back up. And by the way, I was at the fight you had with Benavidez. I thought you won that fight. It was probably closer than you wanted it to be. I thought you won that fight. So I think you really only have one real loss, which is to DJ.
Yeah, and that in reality, Adam, that's actually how I feel. I feel like I only have one loss. You know what I'm saying? Because man, I don't get that Benavidez fight. I really don't. Like it was weird, man. Like it was just I hit him to the body. I beat him up. The stats, I took him down. I mean, yeah, he hit me too, but man, Jesus. Anyhow, I avenged the loss that I felt like I really lost. You know what I'm saying? With Demetrius, but that's also the loss that really allowed me to become, the Triple C. And I remember, and I'm going to share this with you too, Adam. I remember UFC 197, the first time I fought Demetrius Johnson, and he knocked me silly. You know how embarrassed.
I was there. I was in the crowd.
Were you?
Yeah, it was the same card as John Jones versus OSP, right? That was the main event.
Yeah. So you're probably like, fuck, dude, poor. I thought he was better than that.
I was like, I didn't think anyone was going to beat you. That was when I really started believing in Demetrius Johnson. But you came back from it, man. I mean,
well, check this out. I needed that chip on my shoulder. And I think that's what Demetrius Johnson did to me. Because I remember right when that stuff happened, I knew that something had to change, man. So, but I remember going to the press conference. And I remember, I'm gonna pull it up, man. I'm gonna pull up UFC 197 press conference because everybody else said that they'll be back. But what I said, I'll never forget. I said, "Man, you guys just created a monster, dude." Because I cannot be going out like a little biatch.
I mean,
in 2 minutes,
you got caught with a flying knee. I mean, by a guy that didn't have many holes in his game. I mean,
Yeah, I lost to a dude that was shorter than me, Adam. You know what I'm saying? How is that? How am I can't live with myself like that.
But when you said you came back and you did things differently, what did you do differently?
Man, first of all, it all came down to honesty. I think mentally, like I knew that I wasn't as good as I thought I was. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes when athletes, there's two reasons why athletes don't succeed, or fighters, or athletes in general. It's one, the lack of confidence, or two, they think they're better than what they really are.
By the way, that's every comic as well, Henry.
Yeah. God, you guys are popping out of everywhere, dude.
No, it's just me and Bill and you. It's just us two. We got a special show with you.
Is this like a gangbang, dude? What's going on here, dude?
No.
I'm just a fanboy. I asked Adam. I said, Adam, can I do this show? I'm such a fan of Triple C here. I want to hear what you got to say,
dude. So yesterday, Triple C says, "Hey, I'm in LA. I'm doing a podcast with Mike Tyson. Want to come?" And I'm like, dude, when am I ever going to have this opportunity? I was like, all right, so I drive an hour. I pick my kid up early from school, and we go to see Mike Tyson. My wife's like, are you sure this is okay? She's like, make sure. Like, doesn't he eat babies? I'm like, no, he doesn't eat babies. So, like,
but your daughter definitely got a contact high.
Yeah, dude, not even kidding. We walked in there, and I walked right out with my kid. Like, we like stayed in the back because I was like, whoa. I'm like, this is not – I might not be – my kid's 2.5. You know, I don't want her to get it. So we walk in there, and we're late because my kid's crying because she wanted a bottle and this and that, milk. And, you know, so we finally – I go, this is Mike Tyson. This is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. And Mike's like, I've been called a lot worse. Was just, and then I was like, man, Michael Spink still hasn't gotten up, right? And then so Tyson and me and Henry take a picture. And I'm like hyping up my daughter. I'm like, this is Mike Tyson. Blah. She looks at me. She goes, I want to go home and watch Trolls too. Like she gave me shit, right? Then I was like, Violet, this is Henry Cejudo. He's the UFC champion. She goes, I have to go potty. Like those are the things that were said.
But yeah, that's the fatherhood, man. And like you've heard too, Adam. I'm getting ready to be a father, man. So I lost my virginity.
Nice.
A few months ago for the first time. You know,
I didn't realize you could have a kid by you getting screwed in the ass. But okay, that's
wait a second.
That's great, man. I'm so happy for you. Now,
hey. Don't knock it till you try it.
Hey, I'm not dude. I did a show. I'll talk about this later. But so, Henry, first of all, the girl that you got pregnant is a 10 out of 10. I mean, she's a bombshell chick. Like, you look at her, you're like, I think she's like 8 months pregnant. And she has a six-pack or something. Like, you're just like, who is this girl? Where did you meet this girl? What's going on?
This girl, the one that popped my cherry, man, her name is Anna Caroline. If I also tell you in English, man, she's been my Instagram crush for forever, dude. Honestly, this is kind of how it happened. Because I remember my first girlfriend ever.
Yes.
You know, she went on a rampage. She started deleting everybody off my social media, and the one that I didn't want her to delete was Anna Caroline. So when I broke up with her, you know, she was the first person to send a message to them, like, you know, I had to apologize and things like that. And she was like, "No, you know, that's." You know, 'cause honestly, she kind of never gave me the time of day, because if people really don't know me, they're like, this fucking guy is just a fucking annoying troll, just, you know, big-headed minority Mexican.
Oh, come on.
So you take her out. You guys go out. Now, is she from Mexico City? Because every time I talk to you, you're either in Brazil, Mexico City, or LA or Scottsdale. Like, every day of the week, you're in one of those places.
Yeah, man. Well, I do a lot of traveling, man. It's not by choice, but by demand. You know, everybody wants a piece of this twisted stew and sex appeal. So now we're in Mexico City, man, and now we got to quarantine because she wants to see the U.S. or whatnot. So we have to
Mexico City.
No. She's Brazilian, man.
Oh,
she's
my God. So she's from Brazil. And now, are you ready? Are you ready to be a dad?
I mean, I never had a dad. I mean, it's going to be an experiment of my own, man. I live vicariously through you, Adam.
Dude, first of all, you're going to be a great father because you're a great coach and you're a great person. And I told you the other day, I go, dude, having a daughter, I initially, I'm like, I want a son. And then we find out it's a girl. And it is the best, Henry. Like,
No, for sure. But you know what, Adam? I mean, prior to me losing my virginity, man, I've always wanted a girl, man. I remember I wrote my book when I first won the Olympics, and it's all in here, man. It's all documented. And I was right after I won the Olympics in 2008. Just in case you guys didn't know, man, I got a gold medal.
Yeah, you're wearing it right now.
Yeah, it's. I wrote a book and I had talked about how I've always wanted to have a little girl, like, you know, just because, man, I feel like I need to be softened up. I've always desired a girl, man. And it's all in my book, man. It's all written. Like, ain't no bullshit here. And I wanted to name her America, so it's like I'm not surprised, man, that I'm having a little girl. But I almost feel like that's a wrestler thing too, though, man. Every freaking wrestler, Dan Gable's got like 7 girls, man.
Yeah, no, you're not kidding. I was at his camp and there was like this. Dan Gable's daughters were like, hey, everyone's like running away. Like, no, your dad's Dan Gable. I don't want to get me the
you know what they say about having girls? Your woman has a girl if she orgasms during sex. If you can make her orgasm, she'll have a girl.
I don't know.
There's like science to it.
I must have a miracle.
Well, I'm flattered for that. I mean, I think I finished before she does, man.
You think? But so, I mean, so you have. By the way, so get the snoo. That's the best advice you're gonna have. It's like a little crib that like rocks her to bed. You'll thank me for it. The snoo, and read a book called The Happiest Baby on the Block. It will save all kinds of. I'm telling you.
When is she due, Henry?
She's gonna be due November 21st, dude.
Oh, you got some time, yeah. Okay.
So
yeah,
I mean, I'm happy for you, man. You're gonna love it. Now, the other day you posted, Dana White, what's going on? No more American champions. This is American company. I want to come back. And then everyone went crazy. Like, are you coming back?
Announce it now on this podcast.
Yes.
Triple C's coming back.
Good. Thank God. Good. You're coming back.
Thank God.
I mean, now, do you miss it? You have to miss it, right?
No, not really, Adam. Not really, man. I really don't.
He's with a 10. Why would he miss
guys,
it?
When you guys truly, like, people don't understand, like, people have no idea, man. I've been competing since the age of 11. When John Jones and Khabib, when they talk about they've done everything they've ever wanted, man, I've done everything there is to fucking do, man. I've dominated 2 sports, even in wrestling. Like, my goal was just to become an Olympic champion. Check. My goal was to become a UFC champion. Check. And on top of that, I want another belt. What I'm saying, Adam, is like, I need something that really motivates me. What I would love, number 1, is green. I wanted to be worth my legacy, financial. And then 2, man, I really do want to go over. I really do want to fight that overgrown baboon, Alexander the Average.
I mean, he's a 145, but the fights against Holloway were close. They were close. I thought Holloway won those fights, to be honest.
And I'll be honest with you too, Adam. If it's not Volkanovski, dude, I want Holloway because I want something that people do not give me a chance in. That's the shit that motivates me. It's not fucking Peter the Ugly Potato Jan. You know, it's not that Lord of the Ringworm freaking. That walking past, dude, it's not that, especially that Academy Award winner.
Now, you said that, but then there was a video of you guys hanging out the next day in Vegas.
Algelane.
So, I mean, you and Algelane were hanging out the next day, though. I mean, you guys are obviously friends.
No. Honestly, dude, I'll be honest with you, Adam. I was pissed, dude. When I saw him with that belt that day and I saw him, and I was just like, man, and then I apologized, man, because, you know what I'm saying? He did take an illegal knee. And at the end of the day, I understand the business side of it. He just said, fuck it. He went from.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was as bad as that girl that got hit with the toes, like right by the chin. And the girl was freaking like.
But that was the worst. That was the worst Aljamain I've ever seen. Like, I mean, that was not the Aljamain that showed up in the previous fights. He was having an off night. He kept going for those spinning back elbows. Something wasn't connecting. So
no, I don't think it's that, Adam. I don't think it's that. I think you got to give credit where credit's due, man. Yeah, that ugly potato, Peter Young, he's good. He's better than what I thought. Yeah. You know, and I think Aljamain. I think Aljamain, freaking Flavor Flav stunt double. I think he doesn't need to focus on so much. He focuses on so much value that it hurts him. The next fight that comes, and I gave him this advice because I do want his little crusty ass to win, and he's he really needs to focus more on now. He needs to focus more on power or pinpointing a certain spot. He should continue to jab and kick and irritate in order for him to start dismantling this dude. But he's had to focus more on quality rather than quantity because you got to fight everybody different.
Yeah. I have a question for you, Henry. So with everything you've accomplished, I know you say the green has to be right for you to get back in the UFC, but what was the moment that made you go, I'm coming back? Was there something that happened? Because you've accomplished your goals. You finally lost your virginity. You got the hottest girl on the planet. You're having a baby. It seems like, a lot of times people have careers to get what you already have. So what was the thing that really made you come back? Was it just like revenge? Was it just feeling that your legacy wasn't as firmly planted as you wanted it to be?
Like you're talking about like coming back right now or what?
Yeah, like coming back to UFC, like your desire to come back. Like, was there something that happened that made you go, fuck it, I'm coming back?
Well, as of right now, I'm kind of still trolling a little bit.
Oh, I thought you were officially announcing on this podcast.
Sure.
He's having, here's the problem, right? Here's my issue. People ask me, is Henry coming back? I'm like, dude, the guy was a 4-time state champion, like in 2 different states. First in Arizona, then in Colorado. Then he goes and like wins the Olympics. Only guy on the team to win the Olympics that year, right? Then you go and you win the gold. Like you've never, just winning a state championship, even if it's the worst state possible, that's still like a full-time job. Like that's fucking a job. Like you're not kidding when you said you've been working from 10 to now. Like, so maybe you needed a couple months to just actually.
I've worked my whole life that my back has just been wet, man. So what would you call me? A Mexican who's had sweat all over his back at him. I want you to tell me.
I'm not falling for this trick again. But not to mention, this kid, like, people don't know this about Henry, is that he grew up, his father threatened to murder his whole family.
Whoa.
And then, like, his mom just took the whole, like, the 4 brothers.
He threatened to kill the cringe before the cringe, manifested, man. Go ahead, Adam.
So the father was, like, in and out of jail, on drugs. The mom was taking them away. She had like 7 jobs. She had like 4 kids. He didn't have a bed. The USA wrestling team bought him his first bed. Like this dude came from nothing. People look at him, they go, oh, he's just a happy little fucking go lucky dude. This dude came from nothing. Am I right?
Yeah. And it's actually not even 4 kids, it's 7 kids.
Wow.
Raised by a single mother, born in South Central LA. I grew up on powdered milk. I mean, I was a kid that really like that really starved, man. Like I was a kid that went through hungers as a kid, man. Sometimes I wonder if I'm short because of the malnutrition. I'm not even. I mean, obviously my parents were short, but fuck, man, I could have grown a little bit more if the vitamin C was up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what? But then if you had all that shit, Henry, then you would have been a spoiled, entitled fucking piece of shit like Adam's daughter's going to be. Oh, and then you're going to – I'm kidding. No, but I'm joking. But you're going to be like, you know what I mean? There's something about the fact that you had to overcome that made you a champion too, right?
Yeah, of course, man. And it's the adversity, man, that builds the character. It's what reveals it, man. And, I truly, when people talk about gangs and violence and shit like that, I even go to I've been to the favelas and I've been to some ghettos out here, even in Mexico. And then I compare them to my life. I'm just like, okay, I live in the United States. That's the biggest blessing. But fuck, man, we're fucking poor, dude. Like no furniture, fucking regular TV, no air conditioning in the hot summer day in Phoenix, powdered milk, government cheese, slept on floors. I ain't sleep in my first bed till I was at the age of 17. When I first moved to Olympic Training Center, man. I never had a pillow. Like, I had to get accustomed to sleeping with pillows, man. I would get a pillow and I would fucking hug it. Like, true story, man. I would literally, like, it took me a long time, man, to get accustomed to pillows. So every time I hear people talk about drug violence and all this other shit, like, true poverty, man, being truly poor, man, is a fucking humbling experience, man.
Well, you use
because it's all
bed,
about
right?
surviving.
You use your
I'm
pillows.
sorry?
You use your pillows as like a queen size bed, right? For you. You're right. And now look at you, man. You're flipping house. I don't know how you're flipping houses. You're just like, I'm going into real estate. Like, how did you learn how to flip houses?
Well, I dabbled in a little bit in 2008 after the Olympics, and I had that time, and it didn't go as well as I planned because I had made a lot of mistakes, but I never kind of lost that eye, that knowing that real estate could be the answer for me. More importantly, what I love more than anything, Adam, is fucking freedom, dude. I enjoy freedom to do whatever it is that I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think real estate's the world. There are more millionaires in real estate than any other business job or any other career in the U.S. for that matter, and probably even the world. So what I look for, man, what I love more than anything, more than fighting, more than wrestling, is freaking freedom.
Well, enjoy it, Henry, because it's going to be over in November. Your freedom's done. So you better enjoy that freedom now, because you're going to be waking up. Is your girl going to move to the U.S.?
Yeah, she's gonna eventually move out to the U.S., man. So that's where I want to have my kid, man. You know,
she's smoking, obviously, man, and you can tell that you guys are in love.
Yeah, she's awesome, dude. She's a lot. She's 5. I'm 5'4", and she's 5'8", man.
She fucking holds you during sex. I love it.
Right
now, you tried. Now, what happened with WWE? Did you have a tryout?
Yeah, we're still working out with Rob Hickman. There's a potential that I'm going to do an appearance either WWE or AEW. There's also an alliance in Saudi Arabia that are, they love the character. Not everybody loves it, not everybody enjoys it, but there's some people that do. They're like, fuck, man, this is genius.
What's the character?
The character is just the king of cringe. You know what I'm saying? Like, be me. Be me, but obviously, elevate the valve a little bit, and that's it.
No, I love it. Dude, it's funny, though. It's hard to actually being cringy, which I don't think, first of all, I've hung out with you, and you're the nicest, coolest, warmest person I know. So I don't look at you as the king of cringe, but I think sometimes when you do these, like, I don't know, these like promos, you like, when I was writing that song for you, Cringe Ass Henry, I had to like Google like what are some cringy things, and it's a very abstract term, like cringe isn't like you have to actually. It's not easy to be cringy, Bill. Like you have to actually. Yeah. So I'm like, I was writing those lyrics of like I cat called a nun because I'm cringe ass Henry. So I'm like, what's a really fucking cringy thing I could have Henry do? Like I do a chicken dance at clubs. I was like thinking of things that you could do that would be cringy. But
you know what I love? You know what I love about it is you can never be wrong with being cringe. You know what I'm saying? Like whether you know what I'm saying, you can never go wrong because it's part of your stigma.
1,000%. 1,000%. Now, what's up with you and O'Malley? Because you guys are always like, you guys are from Arizona. O'Malley seems like a hardworking guy. I know that you train over at Fight Ready. He's over at the lab. What's going on with you and O'Malley?
No, nothing's going on. I just think I think Dana White should fucking send him back to the Contenders, dude. I really do, man. Can you believe all these sorry ass matches? Come on, dude. He's got, and no disrespect to Smoker, but man, Sean should be fighting a guy like he needs to. I like him, I really do, man. But he needs to. You know what I'm saying? To me, I don't know how he feels about me, but I think if he truly wants to be the best in the world, dude, he needs to start challenging people that are in the top 10, dude. He can't just be picking fights. Oh, I just want to go with strikers. You know what I'm saying? That dirty Q-tip, man, he needs to step it up because, It's ridiculous, man. But he does a lot of things that are right too, Adam. Like his distance is good, his composure, his fakes, his feints, his timing of how he feints and then he throws punches is on point. But there's one thing that I would expose him if I was for whatever reason ever fight that prison clown is is kick that front leg, because he's a guy that is unexperienced with adversity. Anybody that fights him doesn't kick that front leg of his is a fucking idiot, man. And they don't belong in the UFC, because it's been proven, dude, he cannot take leg kicks and he leads extremely forward with that leg. So the kid is good, but he hasn't gone through adversity, man. And I hope that I hope one of these guys can actually literally get me out of retirement. Maybe it's him. Maybe at the end of the day, we're talking about the money.
All right, Henry, what would it take? What would it take, money wise?
I'm still trying to come out of that question there, man. I'm still trying to. No. That's without due respect, guys. That's anything between me and him, you know. Because of course, he knows what I want. I mean, I made it public. He knows what it's. He knows what he's a fan of mine too. He knows what I've done. Like he respects me. I respect him. But I think if we ever do come to a conclusion, he knows the number already, and Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't be the highest paid, if not one of the highest paid guys. Because you're coming off you haven't lost since 2017. And you're a 2-division champion.
No, 2016.
2016. That's 5 years. You're a 2-division champion. I mean, why would they not? Come on. Now, did you?
And did I forget that I'm uncircumcised too?
I wish I didn't know that. Now, Dominic Cruz, you have a covered wagon. Dominic Cruz, you guys had a beef. You said he bullied you back in the day, or he dismissed you. Did you guys make up after the fight?
Oh man, that dirty trick, man. Are you kidding me, dude? He's still smelling alcohol and cigarettes, dude. You know what I'm saying? He's still waking up from that nap I gave him. Are you kidding me, dude? I put that dude to sleep. He was like, oh.
It was stopped a little early, although he was rocked. He was hurt. You could argue. I thought it was like one of those stoppages that I was like, not the worst stoppage I've ever seen, not the best. But
yeah, well, remember, this is what happens too, Adam. He took 13 unanswered shots, and what happens sometimes is when you hit somebody so hard, you tend to wake them up. Right. So when you see he starts to go limp, that's when Keith Peterson stepped in and stopped the fight. And by the way, after I beat him, actually, freaking me and Keith Peterson, we freaking hammered a 6-pack, and that was the wildest night of my life.
God. Now, by the way, Dominic Cruz, that's not an easy guy to even hurt. I mean, he never gets rocked in his fights. So it shows you how hard. I think people don't understand that you were now I looked it up. You weren't a Golden Glove champion because it's in Arizona. It's called the Copper Gloves.
Yeah, the Copper Gloves. Well, I never got it. I beat the guy that won the Golden Gloves when I won the Copper Gloves. But what happens, I ended up going back to wrestling. Right. So they didn't put me in the novice. So when you fight amateur boxing, they put you in a division where you fight guys with less than 10 fights. Fucking with me, they put me guys with unlimited fights. So the last guy that I beat was fucking 32-0 in amateurs, which he was a guy that won the Golden Gloves.
Now, why did you do that when you were just at that point just wrestling?
Like boxing?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to serve two masters, If you want to be the best at one thing, and I mean this.
No, I'm saying, why'd you go to boxing to begin with? Why wouldn't you just focus this? Because that was like after. Was that before the gold medal or after?
This was after.
Oh, so you were thinking about going to MMA?
Yeah, I was thinking, but I didn't want to have these sloppy ass hands like every other MMA fighter. I ain't want to have like Ben Askren hands. Right. So I literally put my money where my mouth is. I had a whole plan of that I wanted to box, compete, win certain things. Like even if I was to lose, I continue to keep competing because I knew once that I got into MMA with my wrestling as my safety nets, and then with my hands, Jesus man, who's gonna touch me?
No, I mean Now, when you knock out TJ Dillashaw in under a minute, that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. He's 135, you're 125. You guys just switch. He's like, I'm making 125, like for no fucking reason. Like that made no sense. And then you knock him out in a minute, and he gets caught with like EPO, which was like, that's what like Lance Armstrong was taking. Were you shocked at all? He said it was because he had some liver problems and he didn't want to get low or something.
No. He could have. Trust me, dude. I cut more weight than I feel like I cut more weight than TJ did, 225 pounds. I really do. But then look at how he hydrated. He got up to close to 149 pounds the night of the fight. Not even when he was fighting at bantamweight did he ever get that big. Right. He got up to 149 pounds, fucking ripped and everything. But, man, I had trained so hard for that fight. That fight, I can honestly tell you, Adam, that I have never felt like stronger, like physically stronger in that fight than any other fight. I felt like I was on fucking EPOs. Now, like, I really do.
When he gets popped, do you laugh to yourself like, what a fucking idiot? Like,
no, not really, dude. I'm just glad he didn't come up with that excuse like Anderson Silva said. He, said it was like some freaking Viagra.
Oh, yeah. No, you gotta say, man, the guy, he handled it like a man, or like a.
Well, you had to. He had to. There's no other way. Because I believe that's what USADA does, and I mean, you can go to prison, like Marion Jones, if you lie to federal authorities.
I honestly think that there should be not prison, but when you're in there fighting somebody and you're taking all kinds of drugs to give yourself an advantage that there has to be a real stiff penalty, because you could kill.
Okay, how about not take them to prison, but just let them drop the soap, and I'll be okay with that.
I mean, something's got to happen, because that's.
Henry, do you think it's a really big problem in the UFC, or do you think these are just small cases? Is it like juiced with the Canseco thing, where like tons of people are doing it and we don't know, or do you think it's a small thing?
No, I think it's a small thing. I think the UFC has really cleaned up. I think USADA. I've been with USADA since I was 16 years old, man. I've been under them for a minute, man, and I can honestly say that they do a good job with detecting all that stuff. So I think back in the day pre-USADA, I mean, you saw a lot of these these fighters, and there's been fighters to admit it. You know what I'm saying? That they used to do it.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's just a short case of that. No pun intended.
Now your brother was 150-0 in wrestling. When in high school, he was also a 4-time state champion. Like, what happened? What's going on with him? How come he didn't fight?
You know what? My brother, and I mean this, Adam, not just because he's my brother, is fucking the most athletic, smartest person I have ever seen and met. My brother just, God, dude, I've always envisioned my brother going into fighting like back in the day. And when Jose Aldo was reigning at 145 pounds, I've always saw my brother beating him. And it's crazy, but he had thought about fighting, but he's like every other Mexican, had a baby at 17, But he was an Olympic hopeful, dude. Like he was one of the top wrestlers in the world. It's just he had a seafood a seafood problem.
He sees food and eats it. Got it. Now
no. He sees food and he eats it out.
Oh wow! Yeah. Of course. Now is he the one training Tracy Cortez?
Yes.
Now Tracy Cortez, Bill, is one of a smoke show and a half. A lot of these girl fighters, you see them I put her in Paige Van Zandt category of I talk to her and I'm looking away because she's that hot. I'm avoiding you get sucked into there. But she's also has been through a ton of shit. She had a brother who passed away. She's had another life that's not been easy. What's your thoughts on her? Is the sky the limit there? She's an undefeated fighter, trains with your brother. Talk to me about her.
Yeah, no, Tracy Cortez, obviously big booty. Let me just get that out the way.
Yeah.
Because everybody's thinking.
Yes.
But she's honestly, she's like a sister, man. I've known her since she was, I believe I was 11 and she was maybe 5 or 6 maybe. I forget. Maybe. Yeah, because her brother was her brother. I grew up with her brother, with her older brother, Jose Cortez, who I was super close with. But my brother Angel was his, like, they were like best friends, man. Actually, they had kids around the same time.
Wow.
You know, like 15 and a half or something. And anyways, her brother ended up dying of cancer when he was maybe about, I want to say 25, 26, around that age. Super young, super talented too. He could have been. He had the potential, Adam, and I mean this too, to even be a UFC champion too. The dude was an animal. The dude, he was a state champ as well. He was already an All-American at Fargo. I mean, the dude was vicious, dude. Like he looked like Conan the Barbarian. But anyhow, he ended up passing away, man, which was extremely heavy on all of us and everybody that grew up with them. And then her mom ended up catching cancer too, like I think 5 or 6 years later, and then she ended up passing away. Which, you know, I'm super close to the family, and you know, and I talk to Tracy all the time. I try to mentor her with a lot of things, especially like in life. And I tell her all the time, like, hey man, this is all part of your story, man. Like your mother, your brother. I mean, you know, she's part of the reason why she even fights and she does it is for her brother, man.
Yeah,
Jose.
she had like no background in anything. She's like, she's a tough Mexican girl because her brothers probably beat her up all the time, and like, that was her fucking training.
Well, not just that, but her older brother was super protected over her. So so Jose never wanted her wrestling. So she didn't wrestle because of her. She respected her older brother that much because, you know, her other brother, you know what I'm saying? Good looking girl, fucking wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
You know, I go in for a crotch, a high crotch, you know what I'm saying?
Like, the team, there's a fucking line. You know? Dude, there was a girl on my team when I was coaching middle school, and she's like, you know, cute little like 12-year-old. And I was like, hey, that girl, anyone know where that girl's, where she is in practice? And the whole team had her number. I was like, wait a minute. Wait, why are there 12 guys? They're like, oh, I have her number. I'm like, okay, listen, no one. This is getting insane. This is getting a little ridiculous. Now you got a podcast now with Mike Tyson. I mean, that has to be like. I was thinking if I had a podcast with Mike Tyson, I would just be kind of scared to talk a little bit. Because it's like Mike Tyson, like you don't know exactly what he's thinking, and you never know what's going to come out of his mouth, which I think is what is very enticing about him. But are you like, what's that like having a podcast with Mike Tyson?
Yeah, no. Well, first of all, I'm super close with Mike, you know, and Mike feels really comfortable with me. You know, I'm probably about the only guy that could really kind of, you know, respectfully tell Mike, hey, Mike. Are you coming today? Because you're right. Mike Tyson is somebody. First of all, he's a genuine soul, man. You know, he really is like a. I have an uncle that kind of looks like Mike Tyson. From my mom's side, it's crazy. It's bizarre. He looks exactly like Mike Tyson. He's Mexican. He's just as, you know, he's dark complected too. Anyhow. You know, with Mike is like what we all think that he is. He's like six people in one. You know, sometimes you don't know, you know, if you're gonna get the killer, you know, the philanthropist, the 15-year-old, the guy that's just laughing, the dude that's high.
Right.
I mean, it's there's probably a lot more, dude. You know.
Is he Mike? I remember Jeremy Piven telling me. He co-hosted a podcast. He was microdosing the whole time, but he was just taking these mushrooms and just putting them in his mouth like it was like Big League Chew or something.
And he was going, show me.
And Piven's like, you're macro dosing. This is not microdosing. You're like, is that what's going on when you're with him?
Oh my God! I remember we. Cause I've done a lot of things with Mike, but I remember like first time that we actually kind of hung out. We ended up doing shrooms. I'm just like, you know, I was like, man, it's like, it's crazy. I started kind of like taking the shrooms and they weren't hitting me. So I'm just like, but Mike was eating them like they were chips, dude. Like literally like they were chips, dude. Dude, I tell you what, man, I was spinning, bro, like spinning for the amount of mushroom. I couldn't stop laughing. I felt like everything around me was like melting. Like it was freaking hell.
Sometimes when I take too many edibles of weed, I start to think I'm never gonna come back to normal.
Yeah.
Like I get a little paranoid of like, fuck, what if I'm the rest of my life I can't come out of this? Did that happen with you at all?
No, not really. I mean, I personally I like the challenge of it too, even if it does take me there too, Adam, because then it you know I know that it's something's not right or whatever, but I kind of like the challenge at times, you know.
All right. Well,
I love psychedelics. So how have you done ayahuasca, DMT? How far down the rabbit hole?
Yeah, so I did DMT with Mike, and so I did DMT with Mike, and all the trips. I'm sorry, I did the toad with Mike.
Yes, the toad,
which is the bullfrog or the sonoranto, which they hibernate 10 months out of the year, and you only got maybe about or 11 months out of the year. You only got about like I think a month to catch them and to extract the venom, and then and eventually freaking smoke it or however you want to do it. And then he always talked about it, and it's just the trip, man. Like everything that come. I feel like you have to be ready for something like the toad, because it will bring in like the deepest insecurities that you have.
So, so where were you with Tyson doing the toad?
I was in an island called Antigua in the Caribbean.
Nice.
So just you and Mike? Just you and
yeah, it was me, Mike, Calvin. Calvin Gastel, the guy looks like he ate me.
Right.
And then who else? And there was just like some other Hollywood people that were there, and it was a pretty secluded group.
You guys were staying at a hotel.
No, we ended up going to a house, like a hut, and then we did it there, dude. So then Mike did it first, and that shit was fucking scary, dude. You know what I'm saying?
So you lick the toad, right? You lick it?
No, you don't lick it. No. Well, you could.
Smoke it like a crack pipe, right?
Yeah, it looks like a freaking crack pipe, dude.
So you and Tyson, so you guys smoked the toad, and then what happens?
So then it takes you like it. First of all, like what people at Tyson Ranch and actually what we promote, it's a medicine to us, and not everybody's capable of doing the toad. You have to be ready, man, because the toad, it's a psychedelic that has gotten people off of meth, off of drugs. It's the only thing it's like the last resort when somebody's literally dying, that it's going to give you a life and death experience. What is it? What's the chemical that you have before you die? I forget what it's called, man. Anyhow, it produces it produces that chemical that gives you when you're first born and right before you die. But like you go through this process, so it's almost like a movie. It's like a movie flashes before your eyes, and a lot of things are revealed to you that you probably need to reconcile with or be compassionate with, or to just let go, dude.
So did you forgive your dad?
No. I was thinking my dad was gonna pop up, but what happened is like the trophies, the medals, all that shit. Like it allowed me to understand that none of that shit matters, dude.
Man,
like, you know what I'm saying?
Fuck that. Hell yeah.
No. It matters to me too. I mean, I only sleep with my belts fucking 6 nights out of the week.
Yeah, come on, man.
But what it does, it reveals what truly matters in life, dude. You know?
Family and friends?
No, it depends. It depends. Everybody's different, man. Like, to me, the experience that I had was my first love, which was my mom, dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
And because I'm one of 7 kids, man. But I was the youngest at one point till I was about 8 years old, and I was the baby and whatnot. And I remember like my little sister being born, and it revealed all this stuff to me. And man, I always wanted to be the first. I always want to be number one. I always want to have my mom's. I always want to be number one or whatnot. But that wasn't the case, dude. When you have 7 kids and another one's born, 6 kids and another one's born, it's like, you know what I mean? You're 8 years old. You already got hairs on your sack. Like, move out the way, dude. So, and then leaving home at a very young age, and then my mom working quite a bit and things like that. It just put a lot of things into perspective, man, on how much I had to like reconcile, make things up with my mother, and being compassionate to a lot of things that she's done, and you know, and that's the stuff that was revealed to me. And it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful, Adam, because I remember waking up and I'm already conscious, dude. And I can literally tell you, dude, like I got crocodile skin. Like you can call me a midget, you can call me me whatever you want, dude. A person whose back is wet. Like I'm you can call me anything in the world, dude. But I remember being so kind. Like I said, dude, I got crocodile skin. I remember already like waking up from the experience because it's like an ordeal that goes on between 10 to 15 minutes, depending if it's your first or second time. And I freaking woke up and
Wow.
literally like cried, but it felt so.
That was Tyson
good,
next to
bro.
you when you were crying?
Yeah, Tyson was crying on his too.
No way. You guys hugged? Did you and Mike Tyson hug afterwards?
No. Mike is different though. Like his experiences, like he goes through an ego trip. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he literally goes through ego trips. So you'll see him roll on the ground and just like, God, dude, I'm next. Fuck. I mean, this dude, he's done it like 17 times. So,
Yeah.
and every time he wants to do it, sometimes even Mike will back out because it is some scary shit.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But he's done it 17 times.
Jesus.
Is he on a different topic? Is he fighting Holyfield or Lennox Lewis again?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
It's looking like they're gonna go with Lennox Lewis.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, I would have preferred Holyfield, but it seems like Holyfield wants to fight somebody. I think Holyfield's fighting somebody sometime.
It's crazy.
And-
James Toney is fighting Shannon Briggs, by the way.
No.
Yes. James Toney is fighting Shannon Briggs. And Aaron Carter is fighting Lamar Odom.
Oh my God, Lamar Odom's gonna whoop his ass, dude. Are you kidding me?
And Chuck Liddell's the ref. The whole I was like, this is
And they call me the king of cringe.
Speaking of which, some people got mad at you because, what I like about you, Henry, is that you just give your opinion. You're like, fuck it. This is how I feel. And unfortunately, I was like, I hope he's not right. Because after the Ben Askren fight, you made a video saying that Jake Paul would beat Tyron Woodley in a boxing match. Which at first you're like, wait, no, I watched Tyron knock out Robbie Lawler and 10 people. But you're like, it's different. This guy's been training 3 years just boxing. Now, you don't think that Tyron in 4 months could catch up and then surpass Jake Paul because he hits harder, he's a better athlete, yada, yada?
No. The reason why is because if it was a little glove, I'd give him a chance. If it was an MMA glove, okay. Tyron would probably knock him out. But because the size of the glove changes, it's different. And a lot of what Tyron Woodley's and I would literally bet money, dude. I would literally put a 50 G's down that Jake Paul would actually beat him legitimately. And I'm not hating on him. I'm just stating facts. Whether people want to hate me or love me, but the dog is on top. What I'm saying, when somebody dedicates their craft for the last 3 years and they just do boxing and they're around world-class athletes that are teaching them the proper way to do things, Adam, that's different, man. And I think the biggest thing, though, is the size of the glove.
And what if he boxed with Cormier?
With who? With Poirier?
With DC versus Jake Paul in a boxing match.
Oh, yeah, no. Cormier is a bigger guy. Cormier would beat him. The thing is what I'm saying is Tyron Woodley doesn't throw enough combinations to really beat somebody in boxing. In other words, he focuses on that big right hand with the little glove. Okay, he can knock somebody out. But with an 8-ounce, with a 10-ounce glove, people could take that stuff, and it's different, man. You're not gonna be able to grapple him. It's a different distance. The dude somewhat has skills, and I'm not just saying just Tyron Woodley, but he would beat a lot of people in the UFC if you should throw him in there right now. I would give Tyron a shot if he was to be in there if he was to train for about a year, and actually develop like combinations, not just an overhand, because that's all I've seen from Tyron. I'm not hating on him, because I know he doesn't like Dominic MMA. He's talked a lot of shit about us. I'm just stating what I've seen.
Now,
and
you
the
called out
facts.
Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is like 20-0 and as a world champion boxer. Do you think you beat Ryan Garcia in boxing?
I think I have the best shot at beating a world-class boxer. Yes, I do. And I do feel like his record is padded. It's almost like him and Sean O'Malley have two things in common. You know?
Now, is that because you've had 50 amateur boxing matches?
Yeah, that, and I just feel like I would have the proper game plan, and I would have to focus on taking risk. I wouldn't box him. I would literally have to do something that's going to have to get him out there quick, because the longer the fight goes, the more likely that I would be in trouble, because he's a pure world-class boxer. But I feel like if there's anybody that could beat any of the boxers in mixed martial arts against a world-class boxer, I do believe it would be me.
I believe it too. Bill?
Yeah, I do. And why don't you throw your hat into the ring? Because it seems like people would love that. Triller and those companies.
He's calling out Mayweather.
Oh, you call out Mayweather. I missed that.
Yeah, I called out that copper medalist, man.
Because that seems like a great money grab. You want the green, man. It seems like these sort of promotional boxing matches are the way to go.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think Floyd Mayweather would obviously these are life-changing fights that you would get. And same thing with him, man. Like, one shot. If we were to change the size of the glove, if we were to change the size of the glove, and I think fights would be different. And we're watching that now, the bare knuckle fighting stuff. Like, it's different, man. Like, it's legit. People are, what's his name? Artem Lobov freaking beat Paul Malignaggi. I think Paul Malignaggi's a world champ, a 2-division world champ, and he lost to a dude that can't even throw a freaking jab.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is sometimes it's the size of the equipment that could change a lot of things. So if I was to fight a Ryan Garcia or a Floyd, since I think they're hostile, why don't we fight with mixed martial arts gloves?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And box and just make it even. That's how you make it even.
Now, finally, because by the way, thanks again, man, for giving me your time. You're the best.
Yeah, you're great, man.
So this week, Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt. Who do you like?
Man, I hope. I'm leaning more towards Rob Font, but if Cody no chin garbage. If he thinks he's adjusted and he's done all this, that he's a new person, then I'll go with him, because I do feel like he has more skills. He's got takedowns. He hasn't necessarily showed submissions, but he is trickier. But I'm not too sure on that one, man. But I'm kind of leaning towards Font a little bit more than but I'm rooting for Cody. I really am. And
then June 12th, Israel Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori.
Oh, I'm going to have to go with the Italian dream, man. I mean, will he get the job done? It all depends on the right tactics. And something that's made me successful at him is the fact that, man, it's the art of war, man. I fight everybody different. From being kicked by Marlon to fucking kicking the shit out of Dominic Cruz, from losing in the clinch to Demetrius Johnson to beating him in the clinch. What I'm saying is, if you have the right game plan, man, you can beat anybody. You really can. But do you have the discipline to stick to the game plan, to make adjustments during the fight? That's the difference. So I spoken to Marvin. If he's able to do that, I think, and I personally do think Israel is very beatable. We saw that he's a stand-up fighter. He has nothing on the ground.
Yeah,
why don't you take him?
You don't gotta be the best fighter. You be the best fighter that night. It's just a different.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's like this, man. Big holes. The fighters that have big holes in their games. Anderson Silva, no wrestling. Not Jose Aldo. Conor McGregor, no wrestling. It's like you put these guys in these different categories because they're not well-rounded. I like fights like that because with my background in wrestling, I'm able to dictate how is it that I want to beat your ass.
All right. And then finally, July 10th, Poirier McGregor, 3. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I think Poirier. I think Poirier's gonna beat Conman McGregor, man. I really do. I really do think he's gonna beat him now. I think he's got the confidence. There's two things that if Conor wants to win that fight, he's either gonna have to point fight him, which means he can keep his stance the way he has it, but he's going to be more at distance and pretty much touch him up by points, or change his stance and become more neutralized in the boxing positions and counter him and attack him and go heavy. But the key to Conor McGregor winning is he's going to have to really make adjustments on that distance, because he's the same thing as that prison clown. He cannot take kicks to that front leg, and that's the difference, man. This is the same reason why, Adam and Bill, is the same reason why I changed my stance from the karate to a little more neutralized now, because people started fucking my leg up.
Now, why is O'Malley a prison clown? I don't think they've ever been to prison. Like, why is he a prison clown?
He's definitely a clown. We got that part.
I mean,
Yeah, you see, it's like prison, like he looks like these prison tattoos. He's like a clown. He's like a dirty Q-tip, man.
A dirty Q-tip. Got it. Listen, Henry, congratulations on the baby on the way. Thank you for everything, man. I know having a birthday party tonight. I invited you. You're like, you thought it was my kid's birthday. You're like, tell your kid I'm sorry. I'm like, it's my birthday. But then you were like, I can't wait to go in the treehouse. I was like, I couldn't tell if you were kidding or not. But it's so funny that my fucking daughter loved them. My daughter doesn't like a lot of people. Like there's something about you she liked a lot. So thank you, man. And,
she's like, he's my same size, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, I could take him. So thank you, Henry. Bill, you're the best.
All right. Thanks, Henry. You're awesome, man.
No problem, guys. Thank you, guys, man. What do you guys think, man? You guys think I can make it in comedy, dude? You think
Hell yeah, man.
I don't think there's anything you can't make it in, bro.
Anything you want to do, man, you'll succeed. No doubt.
All right. Gay porn it is.
Yes, gay porn.
Definitely that. For sure that.
That's going to be the title of this podcast. Henry Cejudo wants to do gay porn. All right, well, take care, brother. You're the best.
See you guys later.
Bye.